there are two things that all of the thousands of studies that have been done point to, and it's not rocket science. The two most important ingredients for success in schools are the quality of the teacher, like any organization, how good are your workers, right? And the ability of the leader. Is the organization, the school in this case, being led in a common direction, and all the things that go in with inspiration and leadership. I think the challenge is that we have a wide variation in the quality of the workforce. We have wonderful, wonderful teachers in this country, despite some of the public outcries about the failure of public education. We actually, I think, have many more examples of wonderful public education. But we have variability in quality. We have variability in teacher training programs, but one of the reasons I think we have variability in teacher training programs is great variability of the capacity of the students coming into those programs. Historically, people coming into education programs are not the same students, with due respect, going to MIT. I'd love the students coming into education programs to be the same students coming to MIT, but few of those are coming into education, and why is that? Well, partly because we undervalued education. We've undervalued education, we've underpaid educators, we've underappreciated educators, and the rate of turnover of educators today in this country, the data nationally, are that 50% of new teachers leave teaching within 5 years of beginning teaching. So 50% turnover within 5 years. And my theory is that many of those 50% are the very best and the brightest because they have other opportunities that bring them into higher paying, higher satisfaction jobs. And so I think the challenges are very, very systemic. Clearly, I think we are in a opportunistic time that we can and should and are rethinking how it is we educate those who educate.
It feels to me in my 25 years of interviewing folks that there is a sense of a coddled generation. And I don't want to be negative about it because, in fact, I'm very optimistic about our society and our future. I love the fact that we have an open society which is open to tremendous amounts of feedback. It's just I don't feel like that cycle has really started in a very in an organized way. And so I think it's an appropriate question, which is how do you get the negative feedback cycle started and let people know that on a global stage we might be outclassed in terms of educational depth and rigor. That we don't have the quantity of people coming out with good skills that we ought to have. And by the way, we're 5x the cost of your global competitor who's also coming out of school at the same time. And I feel like that set of messages does need to be transmitted and ultimately amplified probably by the media, but the leadership probably has to come at the top of the country or the top of the business chain. And so we need to start that conversation in business and in probably the political sphere, then to be picked up by the media and amplified.